because you have a fatal disease, and you do, by the way. We are all born with a fatal disease called life. It ends. Therefore, you are going to die. I really hope I'm not the one who's breaking this news to you for the first time. It's a reality that all of us face, and most of us tend to spend our lives living in denial of, pretending that it happens to other people, but not to us. Again, not trying to depress you, just being real. I believe it's possible to face tragedy, to face desperate circumstances, to face down your fear, which could be very well founded, and transform those things into something that benefits you, into the feelings of delight, of being given a treasure, and of having power over your life. And one of the greatest measures of control, and one of the greatest forces that can dispel the feelings of anxiety and depression, is a feeling that you have control over the outcomes in your life. I'll give you a personal example because it's the best example I'm capable of giving you, because I can give it from inside the experience. In 2011, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. There were other people in that same neurological practice who were diagnosed about the same time as me. One of them was a professional whom I knew personally, who was very well respected, who was very intelligent, very well educated, had multiple advanced degrees. We were diagnosed virtually the same week. At the time I'm recording this, it is now almost the anniversary date of that diagnosis for me. That will make it 7 years since my diagnosis. I was told at the time I was given the diagnosis that within 7 years or so, 7 to 10 years, I would quite possibly be wheelchair bound, unable to fend for myself. This is not true. I am mostly mobile. I do have challenges occasionally, but I get around on my own. I drive myself around. I take care of myself. I am not immobilized. I'm not wheelchair bound. I'm in many ways healthier than I've ever been in my life. I'm in many ways, all the ways that matter, happier than I've ever been in my life. I'm more free of fear and anxiety than I ever have been in my life. I'm more free of despair and depression than I ever have been in my life. It's something that's depression and anxiety are things I've struggled with all my life. But I have less of them now. After having received this diagnosis of a disease, which you may not be familiar with it, I don't want to make this whole episode about this, but I'll just tell you, Parkinson's is about more than shaky hands. It's the gradual destruction of your nervous system and your ability to move and take care of yourself and ultimately to live. It is what they call a progressive degenerative disorder, which means it just gets worse and it continues to destroy your nervous system. And there's no cure. And the treatments are only marginally effective. They can put the symptoms at bay for a few years, and then the medicines begin to work more to your detriment than they do to your benefit. That's a pretty bleak outlook to be given when you're given a diagnosis like the one I received. Now, I am thriving 7 years later. In every way except the Parkinson's disease, I am healthier than I've ever been. My cholesterol, triglycerides, my cardiovascular health, my weight, my muscle mass, all better than ever. My attitude of mind, my emotions, my emotional state, better than ever. My relationships, better than ever. Business, better than ever. Anticipation of joy, of having a hopeful future, better than ever. What about my friend, the professional?